future, shattered dreams. End of times ain't what it seems.
Hello, friends. This is Sam Chaney reporting for Weaponized News today, February 27th, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Friday edition of Weaponized News. Wow, it's been a long week. It's been a long week. Are we going to war with Iran? The thumbnail of the show, all the military assets deployed over there. The war drums are beating. It's the weekend. We'll see. We'll see. We'll go over the latest reports on that. Bill Clinton was deposed today. I guess the videos of Hillary and Bill's depositions are going to be released over the next 24 hours by the House Oversight Committee. That's what old Comer was saying in their press conference. So we'll look for that, but we're not getting a lot out of it. Bill Clinton says he did nothing wrong with Epstein. We'll take a look at that. Are we all victims of MK Ultra? I think Bill Clinton's a victim of MK Ultra. I think we all are to a certain extent. As far as being like strapped down in the chair with your eyes pulled back and all that crazy stuff like out of Clockwork Orange. Maybe we're not quite at that level. We're victims of the television, the flicker rate, as we've been covering this week, Project Artichoke, poisoning of the food, water, air, medicine, your vices, your alcohol, your tobacco, all of it poisoned by the government to try to induce mind control over the general population. We're all victims of MK Ultra here now. Public education, and it goes on. I believe there's varying degrees. Like I don't think, maybe, do you even know if you're an MK Ultra mind control slave that has these different personality alters? I don't know if you know. Some of the victims that come out and testify, no, they're like aware. So I guess you do know. Maybe some people don't know. Feels like Bill Clinton is one of these. He is a victim and an abuser. We'll go over that, the fallout from the Bill Clinton Epstein deposition today. Did you know we're in a partial government shutdown? I didn't even know. Who would know? Who would know unless you go and look at what the government's saying? Didn't change my life at all. Made my life better, actually, knowing that there's a partial government shutdown. Actually, it brought joy to my heart to see this report. But indeed, there's a partial government shutdown going on right now. Who knew? We'll cover that. We'll cover, it turns out we're not going back to the moon as we were promised by these liars in the Trump administration. Well, turns out the earliest we'll go back to the moon is 2028, they're saying now. There's such freaking liars. Man, they're liars. We'll go over a bunch of this MK Ultra. More details coming out about the Project Artichoke Manchurian candidate aspect of the program. We'll take a look at that. Take a look at some more of this Illuminati death cult, Epstein, child trafficking, cabal network. It's essentially Satanism, dark occultism. We'll take a look at all this a little bit more today. We're easy on the Epstein emails today, though. So we got a couple clips from Joe Rogan. We don't play Joe Rogan much. I don't think ever. Maybe a few clips here and there. He's got the #1 podcast in the world, right? So obviously, alternative media, Mockingbird 2.0, him and Tucker and the rest of these people. But They make some good points here and there. We'll play a couple clips from there. The news out of it is actually the news out of this clip is the biggest podcast in the world is Joe Rogan admitting that Epstein is not a hoax. And so that's the actual news out of it. We'll cover that. We'll show you. So it's even breaking through to the Joe Rogan audience out there, which is appreciated. We need everybody in this country and the whole world aware about what is all going on here now and what it all means and tying it all together. And so it's overall good, in my opinion, as long as they don't try to cover it up. So we'll take a look at that. Fallout there between the Pentagon and Anthropic. We'll take a look at that. Big major public fallout between them. We will take a look at that, where the Pentagon says they're lying. That is Anthropic. Anthropic says the Pentagon's lying. This is all a fight about spying on America, spying, mass surveillance on Americans using AI and autonomous weapons, i.e. Skynet, being rolled out. That's what this public fight is all about. We'll cover the details there. And a little geopolitical news. A lot on Iran here, little on Russia, Ukraine, Afghanistan, Pakistan, a lot on Iran, and then of course the genocide in Gaza continues. We'll take a look at that. Continued attacks by ultra-Zionists in the West Bank. We'll take a look at that and a whole bunch more on this Friday edition of Weaponized News. Thank you for joining us. Let's get to this day in history. On this day in history of February 27th, going back to the year 1670, the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold I orders all aardvarks expelled from Austria, and he gave them until August to comply. Gave them what? 8 months? I don't know what else you want out of life there. But they were even noticing there in 1670, Holy Roman Empire, Austria, get out aardvarks. We had enough. You know what I'm saying? 1693, on this day, first woman's magazine is published in London, the Ladies' Mercury, 1693. Woman's. In 1801 on this day, Washington, D.C. placed under congressional jurisdiction. They're trying to figure out what do we do with this Washington, D.C. evil ass place. We'll put it under congressional jurisdiction. Sounds about right. In 1803, on this day, we saw the Great Fire of Bombay, India. In 1933, on this day, major false flag, the Reichstag fire. Nazi Germany's parliament building, the Reichstag, is burned by fire, possibly set by the Nazis. It was set by the Nazis. And they blamed the Dutch communists. The Nazis burned down their own Reichstag and then blamed it on the commies. Classic false flag attack there on this day in Germany, 33. In 1949, on this day, we saw the first president of Aardvark land, Wyman Wieselman. He's a statesman and a scientist. In 1951, on this day, we saw the 22nd Amendment ratified, limiting U.S. presidents to 2 terms. Maybe somebody should tell Trump about the 22nd Amendment. They don't care. In 1974, on this day, People magazine began sales. In 1990, on this day, Exxon Corporation and Exxon Shipping are indicted on 5 criminal counts regarding the Exxon Valdez oil tanker spill crash disaster. Also in 1990, on this day, Black Tote Day, final day of the rum ration in the Royal New Zealand Navy. That's a hard day when you run out of rum rations in the New Zealand Navy, isn't it? In 2012, on this day, WikiLeaks begins disclosing 5 million emails from the private intelligence company Stratford. You remember that? And in 2018, on this day, your favorite candidate of mine, Jared Kushner, who we all voted for, Jared Kushner in 2018, on this day, of course, son-in-law of President Trump, has his top security clearance at the White House downgraded. Does he even, I haven't searched, does he have security clearance now? I don't know. He's globe-trotting around the world negotiating alleged peace deals on behalf of America. Does he even have security clearance? Does it even matter at this point? And another thing, they spy, allegedly, the whole scheme, they spied on Trump with Section 702 of FISA. Now Trump, according to Politico reports yesterday, is saying pass 702 in FISA to Congress, according to reports out of Politico from top Republicans. So that just goes to show you how full of shit Trump is and how full of shit all of this narrative is, because he's signing off on the same thing. Remember the whole thing, oh, Obama's tapping my wires, and they made a whole funny joke about it. Ha ha ha. Well, Section 702 is used to spy. It was used to spy on Trump illegally, and he's signing off on spying on you, me, and our dogs illegally through 702 FISA. Think about it. Think about it. What a fraud Trump is, man. Everywhere you look, just fraud, lies, selling us out. It's over the top disgusting at this point. So here's a segue to the news. They deliver pizzas. Again, rubbing it in everybody's face. Pizzagate is real. Pizzagate is real. Go look up Podesta emails by WikiLeaks, still on WikiLeaks. And you can go through there and sort it out. WikiLeaks is real. Boxes of pizza are now being delivered inside the Bill Clinton deposition about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Here's video of the pizza, again, mocking us. And segue to the news. Pizzagate's real. They really are doing all this. So I thought, well, Bill Clinton doesn't know anything about it. It all depends on what your definition of is. Classic all-time line from Bill Clinton. How many times was Bill Clinton's name in the most recently released Epstein files? Well, let's take a look. You search Bill Clinton up in there. Oh, he's in there mentioned in the Epstein files 1,604 times. I'm sure it's just all an innocent coincidence, right? Here it is from the AP. Bill Clinton says he did nothing wrong with Epstein as he faces grilling over their relationship. Again, we should get, according to Comer, out of the House Oversight Committee. We're going to get video of the deposition of them saying, I take the fifth, I know nothing, you know what I mean? And so upon other reporting, Hillary has investigated Bill and found no wrongdoing. So that's warming to the heart. Here's the official statement by Bill Clinton. He says, as someone who grew up in a home with domestic abuse, not only would I not have flown on his plane if I had any inkling of what he was doing, I would have turned him in myself and led the call for justice for his crimes, not sweetheart deals. And so there you have it. Bill Clinton is a victim of abuse. I believe part of, and here's his official statement. It's only a 2-pager. Hillary put out a 4-pager yesterday. This right here is adding more credence to the idea that Bill Clinton, well, he admits it himself here, he's a victim of domestic abuse. I believe that's part of MK Ultra. And we know he went on to abuse many, many others. Here's a mashup of all the photos. And of course, Bill Clinton did nothing wrong. These aren't even all the photos, some photos, a mashup with from the Epstein files regarding Bill Clinton. I hardly knew him. Got to mute that music. Sorry. They'll copyright flag us. Just two wild and crazy guys from Saturday Night Live. I saw people making those memes with those stupid shirts they have on. Remember, was it Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd? We're just two wild and crazy guys. That stupid skit they used to run. It's like Epstein and Bill Clinton. Yes, he didn't know nothing. He knew of no wrongdoings. It's pretty believable, right? Again, I believe Bill Clinton is a MK Ultra victim and abuser and part of this whole cycle of abuse and MK Ultra. Here's flashbacks. This was way back when the FBI originally raided Epstein's New York mansion, wasn't it? I believe it was. But everybody remembers this classic, right? Bill Clinton in the white dress, of course, with the red shoes on there, signaling he's part of the child molesting, cannibalistic, baby eating, blood drinking cult. Indeed. And that was a painting at Epstein's pad. You can see it hanging on you saw it up close. There's other images of it hanging on the wall, and I think that's been well documented. Here is Epstein in what we have so far. There's like a 2-hour that I saw released so far of an interview with him and Steve Bannon, Epstein and Steve Bannon. And here Epstein says Bill Clinton is the architect of the 2008 financial crisis. Let's watch this. Bill Clinton's just a puppet front man. You understand? You see, he is a MK Ultra victim and abuser. And so he's a puppet here that sold it to Congress and the American people. At one time, for those that can remember, Bill Clinton was a very charismatic political leader in this country.
But what really happened, the real enemy of the finance system was Bill Clinton. And if you ask me what and who caused the financial crisis, I would tell you it was Bill Clinton.
Because of what Bob Rubin and he did to deregulate the financial system?
No. Because as the last time we had our 60-minute interview, you talked to me about home ownership. And you asked me whether everyone should own a home. And I told you, no, it's too risky.
So the financial collapse of 2008 is because of hardworking African Americans, Hispanics, and whites who wanted to have a ownership stake in the society that all rests on their shoulders. They're the culprits.
No, not at all.
Okay, then
I didn't say they were the culprits. I was pretty clear it was Bill Clinton. But what really...
And they go into Bill Clinton pressuring to do the subprime loans, to give people loans that they knew they couldn't pay, that didn't have the collateral, the down payment, anything, for politics, for political reasons, to get their votes. Yeah, we already showed those images. There's just image after image. He knows nothing though. Here's Trump when asked about the deposition of Bill Clinton today.
But no, I'm not happy with the way they did it. I don't like seeing him deposed, but they certainly went after me a lot more than that. I don't like this.
They haven't went after Trump at all. He hasn't sat for any questions about Epstein. He hasn't been deposed about Epstein. Trump's full of shit. Trump is the Epstein administration. Here's the list of those in the Epstein files in the Trump administration. Donald Trump, President; Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary; Mehmet Oz, CMS Administrator; Stephen Feinberg, Deputy Defense Secretary; Robert F. Kennedy Jr., HHS Secretary; John Flan, Secretary of the Navy; Kevin Warsh, I guess he's not officially in yet, but he is the Federal Reserve Chair nominee. Imagine that. The head of the Federal Reserve is named. We don't know. He hasn't been confirmed yet. Okay. But imagine when he is confirmed, if he is named in the Epstein files. And Tom Bratt, ambassador to Turkey. So there you go. And well, they knew nothing. Here is that somebody posted on the X. Here's an October 28, 2002 New Yorker magazine article all about it. Jeffrey Epstein, international money man of mystery, traffic guy. Donald Trump booms from a speakerphone. He's a lot of fun to be with. And of course, the cartoon of Bill Clinton and Epstein there. International money man of mystery. He's an Epstein intelligence agent. Or not, he's a Rothschild. Epstein is a Rothschild intelligence agent. International money man of mystery. Here's Bill Clinton when asked about Epstein.
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
There you go. There you go. Tucker Carlson, and I believe he's part of the alternative mainstream Mockingbird Media 2.0. Him and does she even? I don't even think she makes it. Kelly, what's her name? Megyn Kelly. Does she even make it to alternative media? She's just straight up Mockingbird, right? Anyway, however you want to classify these characters. Tucker says Hillary Clinton's role in the assassination of Muammar Gaddafi directly created profit for Jeffrey Epstein. Right before it happened, Epstein was already sending emails about how to profit from the collapse of Libya. After the fall of Gaddafi, Libya became a major hub for slavery, child trafficking. Indeed, and that was Tucker telling old the hell's her name, Kelly, Megyn Kelly, a former advisor to Clinton, blows the whistle, claiming Hillary and Bill both visited Zorro Ranch multiple times to meet Jeffrey Epstein. Let's take a listen to this clip. And he says he's not suicidal, by the way.
The fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was at her daughter's wedding, and her story now is, oh, she was a plus one. Well, who was she the plus one with as the pimp in chief for Jeffrey Epstein? And the alleged 13-year-old girl, her entire testimony was discounted by the FBI after investigation because it supposedly happened again when she was 13 or 15 at Hilton Head Island with no evidence whatsoever to back up her claims, and she was determined to be really kind of off mentally. So again, the left keeps wanting to throw Bill Clinton aside while focusing on Donald Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein who went to the White House 17 times, with Hillary always out of town. Bill and Hillary went to the Zorro Ranch multiple times, and she never met Jeffrey Epstein there. There are pictures of her with Jeffrey Epstein, while she claims, both in apparently her sworn testimony and afterwards, she never met the man. So are we supposed to believe our lying eyes or Hillary Clinton?
I guess the difference is she's saying, I don't remember meeting him. Maybe that's one of those small legalese phrases, which means that she gets off swinging off a massive giant hook. Steve, do you think there'd be any justice served for the victims of this?
But so many of these people who write these long books detailing their time in office or as a candidate, they can remember everything when they're writing a book. But when it's a tough question, I can't remember ever meeting the man. And her statement afterwards, and her lawyer's statement, was definitive. I never met the guy. That's not true.
I think I better watch out. And yeah, I want to expose them all. Trump, Clinton, everybody, left, right, center, and in between. All of them need to be exposed and publicly shamed. And Clintons are above the law, obviously. Obviously. The Clinton body counts out there. Officially, it's said to be conspiracy, but anywhere from between 24 to 80 people in the direct Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton orbit over the years have wound up dead. Suicide, missing, plane crashes, poisonings, drownings, you name it, hangings, shot themselves in the back of the head 15 times, all this crazy, crazy stuff. You can just search it up, Clinton body count. But still, the official story says it's a conspiracy theory. I have a hard time. You can't just leave a wake of bodies and say, well, it's just all coincidence and we know nothing. Vince Foster, right? He was White House deputy White House counsel, died by suicide via gunshot. Ron Brown, that was 1993. Ron Brown, 1996, Commerce Secretary, died in a plane crash in Croatia. Seth Rich, DNC staffer, murdered in a botched robbery. A robbery where he had cash in his wallet and a fancy expensive watch. He's the alleged leaker of the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know if a lot of people, and do we even know? And does it even matter? Does it even matter? I mean, of course it does for the victims. We need justice for the actual guy, but it's bigger than Jeffrey Epstein, and it's still going on today. It's a window into this Illuminati death cult, satanic cabal, MK Ultra mind control programming is what it is. It's a a look into that program still going on today. You better believe it. And so is Epstein dead? I don't know. Seems like a lot of people would have a stake in him being dead. But then again, if he's this high up Rothschild intelligence agent, then they may very well have, smuggled him out. We covered the reports where they went out the front door with towels and bed sheets stuffed in a box to make it look like the body, because the media and somehow snuck the body out the back door of the jail. Remember all that, all those reportings, because they didn't want to deal with the media, allegedly. Very shady stuff. And they put him in there with a convicted killer that hates child molesters, or a guy up on multiple murder charges, right? And it just goes on and on with the weirdness behind it all. The leak footage, and then the footage released that looked doctored by the DOJ from the jail. And so who knows, honestly, at this point, is Epstein dead or alive? I think they have, a lot of people have motive to see him dead, especially when he's sitting there in jail, may rat them all out. You know what I mean? So anyhow, there's a big old long list of the Clinton body count everybody should go check out. To do a deeper dive. I think they've been thoroughly exposed, but they're above the friggin' law. They scream democracy, law and order in your face all day. They're openly lie to Congress, and nothing's going to happen to them. As with all these, how can you leave 80 bodies laying all over the country and literally nothing can stick to you? You know what I mean? It's like they're above the law. They're above the law because they're high up. They're high up in this. And remember old Hillary? Like how she got started in this whole thing was being a it was a defense attorney, right? Or was it the prosecutor? I gotta look that up. But I remember when she was first starting out as a young lawyer trying to change the world, she defended this child raper there in Arkansas. Remember all that back in the day for women's rights. Remember the victim was so badly raped, her insides were all tore up, couldn't ever, made her infertile. Just horrific case. Everybody should go look that one up as well. Sorry, I didn't look it up to have all the details. That's just off the top of my head. Over the years, remembering all of these scandals and crimes by the Clintons, and somehow, some way, they're Teflon, just like Trump, it seems. Okay, that's all we got. And Bill Clinton says he did nothing wrong with Epstein. So we'll look for the actual videos of the deposition being released, but what are we going to get more out of it? Probably not a whole lot. Some shits and giggles where they yell about, I guess they were yelling about, reports they're yelling about UFOs in there. Some other, whatever, dude. They turned it into a circus with the pizza deliveries yesterday, leaking the photo of Hillary. So none of this is even serious. These are not serious people. They're part of the cover-up. The FBI, the DOJ, the Trump administration, Congress, they're all part of the cover-up here now. But we have enough. We have enough pieces. We have enough dots connected here now to know what's going on. They're eating babies and drinking their blood. On top of all the other, that's probably the most evil you can get. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And more people are becoming aware of this. What do we even do with this? With this information, this knowledge? Just know that there's nothing new under the sun. And the same thing these bastards have been doing since they killed Jesus. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Okay. Moving on here now to Department of Homeland Security. And I want my Department of Homeland Security memes. My tax money pays for it. They're not putting out the memes anymore because there's a partial government shutdown. Who even freaking knew? I didn't even know. I got to go look at these obscure posts by the government that nobody even looks at. And oh yeah, there's a partial government shutdown. But first, here's Ice Barbie talking about 6 smuggling vessels apprehended since our southern border is now more secure than ever before. Cartels are being forced to try to smuggle through our nation's maritime waters. This past weekend, Department of Homeland Security law enforcement interdicted 6 suspected maritime smuggling vessels and apprehended 82 migrants off the coast of California. Our work to keep the nation safe never ends. We stand ready to protect our homeland from smugglers on land, air, and sea. At least they didn't just whack them like Southcom does. There's a little report. I gave you the details there, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Here's Trump yelling. On a post, all caps, right? It's Save America Act, not Save Act. Republicans must start using the term Save America Act, much more potent and descriptive. And again, I've always said Trump is a master marketer, and I don't think anybody could argue with that. And so he's trying to tell them how to sell the message. It doesn't look like the Save America Act, voter ID, is going to pass the Senate. And Trump asked today if he will take executive action, declare an emergency, and write an executive order for voter ID for this upcoming midterm election. He says he knows nothing about it. But there's other reports that's floating all over Capitol Hill, and his surrogates are trying to sell that idea to gain the popularity that if it doesn't pass out of it's already passed out of the House, it's sitting there in the Senate. I don't think it's going to pass out of the Senate, honestly. I think the Republicans honestly want Trump to lose the midterms and get impeached, is the way it looks. Honestly, that's the way it looks. So will Trump declare an emergency, issue an executive order for voter ID for this midterm? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they can actually do it correctly and pass it through the Senate and have Trump sign it like a real bill on Capitol Hill. Nah, we don't need any of that. We'll see. So it turns out the TSA, we're ready for this to be over, says TSA officer. Abolish the TSA, abolish the Department of Homeland Security, unconstitutional. But here, who knew? Look, I didn't even know. I got to go, like, I don't know how many views, 7,000 views on this post. Like, who even freaking knows? And it's like local Arizona news or something. And it's like, there's like no big headlines, but the government is partially shut down. We're ready for this to be over, says a TSA officer in Phoenix who feels they're being used as pawns in the partial government shutdown. Who knew? These poor people are suffering once again because the Democrats hatred of President Trump and his administration. Well, F you all, government. How you like them apples? And you should be resigning in shame there, Mr. TSA man. And nobody even notices or cares it's partially shut down, honestly. Except for you parasites sucking off the American people, acting like you're stopping terrorism at the TSA. They never stopped one terrorist because it's all security theater. It's all bullshit to take away our freedom. And by the way, while we're at it, let's declassify all 9/11 while we're at it. I want 9/11 before any bullshit about aliens. How about that? Yeah, we're never going to get the truth about 9/11 from the government either, are we here now? Well, they can't arrest any Epsteiners at the DOJ, Pam Bondi. By the way, the Dow is, let me check real quick for accuracy purposes, but I do believe the Dow is below 50K. Let me just double check here. pretty sure. I checked earlier today because I was like, arrests are coming anytime. The Dow closed today at 48,977. So that's well below 50K. So that's a green light, Pam Bondi, the rest of you clowns, FBI, to go arrest all the Epsteiners. They won't do it. But you know who they did arrest? Proudly, Pam Bondi announces 30 more anti-ICE leftist rioters are criminally charged in storming the Minnesota church. 25 have been arrested by federal agents, and more is to come. Priorities. Don't give a damn if you go blow up a freaking Christian church. Give me a break. They're a bunch of freaking Satanists. But they put on this show. They put on the show for the idiot, dupe, right-wingers. I'm praying to God that to wake these freaking Republicans up, man. But they seem hell-bent on not being woken up and seeing through the charade that is the Trump administration. All right, where are we at? Moving pretty good on time here. Warner Brothers Discovery officially signs a $110 billion deal with Paramount, handing Warner Brothers Discovery over to the rapidly growing Ellison Media empire, according to a report out of Reuters. And so, of course, Larry Ellison, Operation Stargate, rolled out at the beginning of this Trump second term. And of course, he's the head of Oracle. And of course, they're in large part startup money came from InQtel, the CIA. And so they're basically the government. And so we basically have one arm's length away, if any, at this point. The CIA directly running all, and he also owns TikTok now, or controlling interest in it. And so the CIA, or this man and his son, you can just call them CIA puppets at this point, own a giant media empire. The Attorney General of California, Bonta, another corrupt piece of garbage, but he's talking about he may block it. I haven't seen the latest reports on this. I saw some reports earlier today. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe the partisan hatred in this country, as we're reporting, backhandedly can actually help the people as they fight amongst each other here for power in the government, that is Republicans and Democrats. And maybe they can bring some gridlock to all this tyranny coming down upon us. And of course, it's not for any liberty, freedom means for the people. It's for their own political gain, but it will indirectly benefit the people by slowing down all of this. So we can hope. A little bit on the economy. UBS Bank downgrades the U.S. stock market. Here's what has the investment bank worried. Report out of CNBC. UBS downgraded U.S. equities, saying factors that powered years of outperformance are starting to fade. The dollar risk is a central concern as the firm sees asymmetric structural downside risks to the greenback. Another pillar of U.S. stock strength, corporate buybacks, is also losing its edge, the bank said. Well, they need to be audited right now. You know what I mean? So they could expect some federal regulation coming down on them, I'm sure. And then here's the comptroller of America, Jonathan Gold. He says, we are implementing Trump's executive order to end politicized debanking But is that true? Can we trust them? No, because if they'll weaponize the banking system like that against you if you're going against their agenda, and they don't like what you're saying out there. But hey, justice for all Americans. He went on to say, Jonathan V. Gould's Senate testimony on the OCC's efforts to ensure customers are not debanked or discriminated against on the basis of political or religious beliefs or lawful business activities. We'll see about that. And yeah, they told us we're going back to the moon this month. Turns out that was an outright lie. We're not going back to the moon ever because we've never even been to the moon, and not at least their official story, which you go back and look at, it's total bullshit. Here's that. NASA cancels moon landing mission. And so, what do they say right here? Yeah, we lied. Yeah, lie. That's no longer just speculation. NASA has now announced major changes to its Artemis program that could mean we won't be attempting to land on the moon until at least very earliest, 2028. They lied for the last, 6 months saying, yeah, we're going back to the moon, bro. Us, Elon Musk, the aliens, we're building space bases on the moon, bro. We're putting solar panels up there. We're all going to teleport. All this stupid bullshit. How much money have they laundered through this? Who even knows at this point? But yeah, turns out we're not going back to the moon because we were never there in the first place because they can't break the firmament. But that's a story for a different show. That's the news today. Should we even play this? The head of NASA put out a clip. I'm not even going to bore you with it. We're not going. They're not even going to attempt to claim we're going back to the moon until 2028. As they lied again, saying we're going this month. Simply not happening. On to the MK Ultra mind control part of that project, Project Artichoke. Let's take a look where we're at with that. Oh, before we get to that, here's an MIT study. MIT study explains why laws are written in an incomprehensible style. MIT cognitive scientists believe they have uncovered the answer to the question, just as magic spells use special rhymes and archaic terms to signal their power. The convoluted language of legalese acts to convey a sense of authority. Yeah, they talking some gibberish bullshit and say we're better and smarter than everybody else. No, you made up your own little magic spells and you're a bunch of crook shyster pieces of garbage. That's the truth of the matter. Declassified CIA memo reveals plan to turn citizens into unwitting assassins. More coming out from the Daily Mail. They're breaking it big around the world here now. What is it, 75 years later after Project Artichoke was started? A secret CIA program allegedly experimented with a plan to brainwash individuals and use them as unwitting assassins against America's own leaders, i.e. Manchurian candidates. We covered that with a couple months back with William Ramsey, I do believe. We went over his Manchurian candidates presentation where he was covering that heavy. And indeed, here's the documents from Artichoke. Project Artichoke. You can see right here, the purpose of the visit was to give the evaluation of a hypothetical problem, namely individual redacted. But here's the key part, right? Government be induced under Artichoke to perform an act involuntarily of attempted assassination against a prominent redacted politician, or if necessary, against an American official. And there's more here. The subject would be involuntary and unwitting subject. Insufficient consideration was given to the fact that any leakage of Artichoke through performance of the proposed problem would jeopardize the entire future application and proposed activity of the Artichoke team in the area. And there's more details about that, but it keeps coming out now. And yeah, it's looking like through MK Ultra mind control programming, they create many different types. They create sex slaves, assassins, politicians. Go down the list of all kind of different personality types, whatever they want them to do for a specific task. That is your MK Ultra mind control. And well, they'll give them a call, they'll give them a trigger word and show them an object as example. You hear the trigger word, you know, I'm just making this up, Red Rover, and they put one of these up, Red Rover, and that's the trigger as an example. I don't know that, I'm obviously not part of MK Ultra mind control, but that's an example about how they would go about doing it. And that's going to trigger this alter personality that's been programmed through trauma, through the trauma-based, fear-based mind control. And that's going to trigger this alter to turn into an assassin and go try to do the deed. You see? So you look at all the famous assassinations in the 60s, all very sketchy. Lee Harvey Oswald said he's a patsy, right? The guy that, James Earl Ray, that killed Martin Luther King Jr., said he was a patsy. The guy, Sirhan, that shot Bobby Kennedy, said he was a patsy. And it goes on and on and on. And it looks like definitely that is what's going on here, is the CIA is rolling out mind-controlled patsies as assassins. And they may very well not even be the actual assassin. Like, it's looking like they're just rolling them out as patsies. So they may actually go do assassinations and be successful, or they may just roll them out as patsies where they think they're going to do the assassination. And, oh yeah, you're set up and now you're the patsy, you see, as it's carried out by another part of the assassination team. In many, many, many of these instances, it does appear upon further inspection that is exactly what is going on. Continuing here, Massey and Ro Khanna and Nancy Mace, they're sponsoring a bill in the Congress, a resolution to release details of taxpayer-funded sexual harassment settlements that congressional offices have paid out with victim information redacted. I'm sure they'll dox the victims. I'm just sure of it. Anyhow, that this is being proposed by Massey, Mace, and I thought they said Ro Khanna yesterday. I don't see his name on it today, but they'll get some Democrats on board with it, I'm sure. And wouldn't that be nice? And then they'll still say, we don't know nothing. And it's like, here's the victims, Congress, that you sexually harassed and abused. Here's the payouts, the cover-up money you paid them. And they're like, we know nothing. Okay, you're perfect. Law and order, and they scream democracy in your face. That's where we're at. Okay, here's a clip. Long before Epstein, there was McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach, California. Many children testified to underground tunnels and satanic ritual abuse. It's a larger program. That's what I was saying at the beginning, that Epstein is giving us a look into it, a lot of details into, but it's a larger program. Like I said, been going on since they crucified Jesus.
Do you remember when 360 children described ritual abuse through secret tunnels, and after everyone was acquitted, archaeologists found the tunnels? In 1983, children at McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach made allegations, not vague claims. 360 children, consistent descriptions, taken through underground passages to hidden rooms, photographed, rituals, multiple perpetrators, medical evidence, documented abuse, 7-year trial, longest in U.S. history, all defendants acquitted. Media declared it satanic panic, proof children fabricate abuse through suggestion. Then archaeologist E. Gary Stickle excavated the demolished site. He found hand-dug tunnel systems beneath the preschool, entrance points where children described them, exit locations matching testimony. He published his findings, but McMartin remained the definitive false allegation case, which raises one question. If children fabricated the tunnels through suggestion, why did archaeologists find them exactly where children said they'd be?
They're going to try to do the same thing because it has worked. Satanic panic. Oh, it's just Epstein. No, that whole thing is still going on. Hollywood, the elite. That's how you become rich and famous. Is you have to. That's how it goes in this world, in this fallen world. Here's another childhood star out of Hollywood, actor Brandon Bug Hall, Alfalfa, says he was sexually abused on the set of Little Rascals. And they abuse them as kids, and then they turn them into abusers, i.e. Bill Clinton, i.e. that's how the program works.
A week, 2 weeks, I don't really know exactly how long. 2 men from that set began sexually abusing me. The abuse went on from movie to movie, from project to project for quite a few years after that I was supposed to be protected.
Well, with him speaking out about it, hopefully he's broken out of the cycle and won't become an abuser himself. Okay, here's Rogan, Joe Rogan. And again, the point is that this is coming out on the biggest podcast in the world. Let's take a listen. And again, I think Joe Rogan is alternative media, Mockingbird 2.0.
This is the one that I hate the most.
Yeah.
Because this one scares the shit out of me. Because the fear of, we talked about this yesterday with Roger Avery, the fear of these literally demonic human beings that are running the world and don't give a fuck about human lives and enjoy watching people being tortured, enjoy watching people killed, participating in ritual sacrifice of people, and they do it in order to show that you're a part of a team and we know that has always historically been a real thing, and it's been something that you look at in history and you go, God, it's so sick. It's so twisted. It's so disgusting. And everybody wants to thank God that's not happening now. But then when you realize, that might have been happening now. Here's one of the craziest ones. The day he was indicted in 2018, the very next day he ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
What?
Yes. He ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island. And so there's a lot of people online saying, oh, that was probably for his desalination plant. It's probably a regular thing they need to order. So then someone else did a deep dive and said, no, this is the first time this was ever ordered.
I checked that again. I thought there was 2 other ones.
Oh, there was 2 other orders?
2017 and 2015.
Oh, so that guy was wrong. Could have been
the first one from that company, potentially.
Ah, that makes sense. So maybe it was for this desalination equipment.
Yeah,
But also, that's a lot of sulfuric acid. You know, if I needed 5 gallons for my desalination equipment, but
Right.
239 gallons or whatever it is to burn kids. Yeah. To fucking get rid of bodies.
Well, it's kind of hard to think of any other use for acid, just in general. Right?
Immediately,
So
you think.
Immediately.
Yeah. The other orders, were they that large?
Let me check.
Because here's the other thing. I mean, how long has it been killing people? How long have they been boiling bodies to get rid of them? I mean, if you do have, for lack of better words, let's call it a service, where you allow rich people from foreign governments or whatever, you set it up. I can give you whatever you want.
Right.
Like, what I want to do is I want to kill a hooker. Like, I want to kill her, I want to torture her, and I want to, get rid of the body. Ahmed bin Sulayem sent the torture video to Epstein. This is in 2009. So Epstein was saying that. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video.
Jeez.
I am in China. I'll be in the U.S. second week of May. What the fuck, man? And why is his name redacted? Why would your name be redacted if you're not a victim? Like, this is what's crazy about all this. Like, how come you redact some people and you don't redact other people? Like, what is this? This is not good.
Again, they want to hem-haw around it. It's straight up, you get sulfuric acid to get rid of the bodies and the evidence. And so, but it is big on the biggest podcast in the world. They're talking about this. Here's more from Rogan. Roger Avery tells Joe Rogan about the predictive programming that desensitizes us to the idea of elites eating babies and how the Luciferians cast a spell on the world. That's one of the commenters on YouTube alluding to such things about Weaponized News reporting about Epstein files. Yes, I agree. It's desensitizing everybody. Don't be desensitized by it, though. Damn it. Be pissed off every day when you hear about this stuff. And we need to demand justice. But I do agree. And we're in this canard. We're in this canard, this catch-22 situation. You report on it, it becomes normalized. People become desensitized to it. But it has to be exposed, the horrors that are going on. And it's still going on to this day. Anyhow, that's where we're at. Let's watch this clip from Rogan.
So Luciferians cast a spell on the world. And,
For real?
Oh, absolutely. It's just like how vampires can't go into a house unless they're invited. They tell you, what's going on ahead of time. It's predictive programming. And once you say it out loud and you put it out there and make fun of it and do a little skit like Stephen Colbert did a little skit on his show where, oh, here's a baby. I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to give it to Moloch. And he goes into like a cloudy red, furnace and hands the baby over. And he's, oh, the baby's going to be. Fine, and they make a joke about it and the audience laughs. Okay, we're all now conditioned to it. We've all seen it, and by laughing at it, we're complicit.
You think that's on purpose, that this is like some sort of a grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons eating babies?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
For sure. And
who do you
by
think,
the way, but nobody's doing anything about it. We know what's happening.
But that has to take, there has to be a person or some group of people.
Yeah, like about 8,500 people. Yeah.
That are manipulating the Colbert Show?
They're manipulating everything. It's all an illusion. Like, reality as we know it is fake. That's the revelation that guy is having. And he's looking around and he's like, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Well, the thing about the emails is, one of the things is it's just stuff written down. And so that's sort of hard to digest. Like, what is this? Like, what are they saying? Like, some of it is in code, like walking over beef jerky, like talking about jerky. Could you walk beef jerky over to this person? Like, what does that
For
mean?
all this pizza they're talking about,
Right.
You never see any pizza.
Right. Yeah. They're ordering pizza.
I'm gonna get some grape soda. It's like with my cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And like there's all this coded language, and everyone's like, oh, that's you just have pareola. You're just seeing things where you want to see them.
No, this is clearly a code. Well, that was the thing about
it's
Pizzagate.
absolutely a code, and in fact, mundus vult decepi, ergo decepiatur.
Well, good. They're talking about exposing a lot of it on Rogan. Watch my show with William Ramsey Investigates. We expose and get down to explaining you exactly why, how they're doing it. This is part of their occult rituals. And again, the entrails of babies are delicacies for the elite. They may be getting using them for anti-aging, life extension technology, i.e. adrenochrome. Okay, here's Trump. And then we got to take the commercial break. Here's Trump. He's exonerated. This is like the third or fourth clip of Trump exonerating himself. So hey, we can all go home. It's a Democrat hoax. Forget about it. Trump has exonerated himself. He says, I've been fully exonerated. By who? By what? He's never sat for a deposition for anything. Trump's neck deep in all this. It's the Epstein administration with puppet frontman Trump.
I don't know anything about the Epstein files. I've been fully exonerated. I don't know.
How's he been exonerated? He exonerated himself? Ridiculous. Trump needs to sit for deposition as well. And he can lie and say, I didn't know anything. And at least we'll go through the motions. Okay, everybody go to weaponizednews.com. Get yourself the white background sticker, the holograph sticker, or the clear background sticker. We have 3 different stickers. We have t-shirts, hats, bunch of gear at Weaponized News store. Go take a look. We would appreciate your patronage there. The link is in the description below this video. We also take donations, help support independent reporting and analysis, brought to you here 5 days a week at Weaponized News. We're broadcasting live 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern. Give us that like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. All of your support is appreciated. All the subscribers out there, the Buy Me the Coffee donations, Buy Me a Coffee, Cash App, Bitcoin wallet address, all in the description below this video. Any which way you choose to support this program is truly appreciated. Go to weaponizednews.com, PayPal donation button right there on the front page. Patron our store, that works as well. If you're short on cash in this high inflation economy, then just give us that like, share, subscribe. All of it is much appreciated. Thank you very much. And with that, welcome back to the second half of Weaponized News on this February 27th, 2026 edition. Happy Friday as we await potential major war with Iran. But back to reporting on the Satanism, because we're not going to let them brush it under the rug this time. I'm not going to let them. You're not going to let them. We collectively, as the good people, at least not straight up Satan, because we're all fallen in the image of God, right? I can accept that. But we're not eating babies and drinking their blood. I would suspect our audience is not into that. Anyhow, all of us collectively are not going to let this go. We're not going to let them write it off to satanic panic, to it was just Epstein, this little isolated incident, and was he using freaking sulfuric acid to clean his freaking pool or whatever BS they want to make up. No, 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 no. We're not letting this go. They're not writing it off to satanic panic like they've done time and time and time again. No, no, no. We're not letting this go ever, ever, ever. Here is a clip from the great conservative outfit, right? Daily Wire. Remember all those jokers? They're still operating out there. Shills for Aardvark land, essentially. They should just say we're the Daily Shekel. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, not to get into that, but here is, and this was posted by, again, Patrick Howley, independent reporter. He's on it, man, exposing this stuff. And so credit to him for that. He posted this one today. Dallas Sunnier, described as a key architect of the Daily Wire film strategy, produced and supposed comedy about Satan worship called Satanic Panic. They're going to try to whitewash it all. We're not going to let them do it. Here's the trailer for the Satanic Panic from the Daily Wire, the good conservatives that they are.
This job with the tips. 4 hours, my total earnings are an expired Applebee's coupon. A sweater that smells like racism.
It's exactly your size.
Oh,
Deliver for meal base.
It's outside our zone.
I'll do it.
Are you ready to make an investment in your future?
Yes!
Are you ready to take back what you are owed?
Yes!
Are you ready to fully commit yourself to Satan?
Yes!
Who are you?
I'm the pizza guy. Oh, girl?
Are you by any chance a virgin?
That's a very personal question.
She's a virgin. Whose power unlocks our true potential?
Hail Satan!
Do you have any idea what's happening here tonight?
Hail Satan!
They are summoning Baphomet, the big demon from hell. And when that clock strikes 12, he is going to rip you open.
Where's my virgin?
I don't know what's happening. My mom and her butt buddies are booty calling Baphomet.
Hail Satan!
And they're not going to stop until you're strapped to a barbed wire altar. That's bonkers.
Any idea why the rich stay rich and you stay screwed?
Better healthcare.
Hail Satan!
They are stronger than us.
A virgin, no sacrifice. Let me protect you.
Oh, who are you people?
Death to the weak, wealth to the strong.
Hail Satan!
You should stop drinking. You really want to face this over? Get that mean lady! I'm sorry!
There you go. The great conservatives at the Daily Wire trying to whitewash all of this. Yeah. Not so funny. Not so funny, is it? The evil design of Jeffrey Epstein's island. Look at this. This is crazy.
This is Jeffrey Epstein's island. To understand it fully, we've remodeled the entire island, and we've divided it into 3 main sections. So we can tell the complete story of how this place was built and what it was hiding. The first villa sits on a point just below the main house, built years after Epstein purchased the island. Next to it is another residence, connected to the pool complex by a lower level doorway. This one even had an outdoor bath backed by a giant mirror looking out toward the sea. Facing the ocean is a wide stone patio. Set into the floor are 2 mirrored shell designs, along with the letter E. It may have been decoration, or something more symbolic. Above it all is the main house itself, the largest residence on the island. When Epstein bought Little St. James in 1998, this house was already here, but he had it remodeled and expanded into part of a much larger complex. The sea-facing side has a veranda, while the back of the house opens into the pool area. That pool complex is massive. It It has 4 cabanas, a pergola, and a large swimming pool in the middle. At the far end of the pool was a statue of a seated archer, and beyond it, a painted compass that some mistook for a helipad. Parts of the pool complex were 2-storied, with staircases and hidden doors that led into lower levels. Not far away, along the beach, another villa was hidden behind thick trees. Visitors usually arrive by sea. Boats pulled into the island's jetty, which had a covered loading and waiting area. Those who came by air landed at the grassy helicopter pad. It had small shelters for passengers and luggage. Nearby, 2 strange details stand out. At the top of a slope is a giant monkey statue, and beside it, a stone staircase that leads up the hill, then stops abruptly, earning it the name the Stairs to Nowhere. This northern section of the island was meant to impress. Moving toward the center of the island, the design shifts. Here, the focus is less on luxury and more on control. Tucked into the trees is a low building, almost hidden from view. Its purpose is still unknown. Just beyond it lies the island's main service area. This section held the machines that kept everything running. The desalination plant for fresh water, generators for power, storage rooms, and sewage management. Some of these buildings were built directly into the hillside. Their flat rooftops doubled as parking pads, and vents cut into the ground hinted at larger rooms below. In one case, drone footage even captured doors leading deeper into the hill, raising questions about what might have been hidden underground. From this hub, a steep road winds upward. On the surface, it looks like a simple path, but it may cover a water pipeline that connects to the island's fountain. The fountain itself sat quietly in the middle of the island, ringed with benches. In one video, deer were seen grazing nearby, giving the strange sense of calm in a place filled with secrets. Closer to the southern edge of this section, a massive sundial stands. Once, it was surrounded by 13 brightly painted benches, some say representing the 13 ruling bloodlines in conspiracy lore. The face of the sundial resembles a Masonic design, another detail that fueled speculation. Nearby, smaller structures dotted the coast. One open-air cabana seemed to have massage tables beneath its straw roof. Another beachside building, now only ruins, may have been for changing clothes or toilets. Close to the sundial, an odd patch of beach is marked out on Google Maps, blurred as if to hide something. On higher ground sits a large building with 3 garage doors and a row of sealed windows. Some have described it as a staff barracks, others as storage. Either way, it stood apart from the luxury of the main house, suggesting it was built for those who worked, or were kept, on the island. This middle zone tied everything together. The southern stretch of the island is where the strangest and most unsettling designs appear. At the far southwest tip stands the most infamous structure of all, the so-called temple. Painted in bold blue and white stripes, it once had a golden dome and statues of Poseidon and birds perched on its corners. From the outside, it looks like something out of another world. Early visitors described its inside as a music room with bookshelves, a grand piano, and even a portrait of Epstein with a pope. But by 2019, drone footage revealed only scaffolding, mattresses, and junk, as if it had been stripped bare. Some believe a small nearby shed hides entrances underground, though nothing has ever been proven. One site shows a pergola with 2 sealed doors built into the hillside. A second building that once stood here was destroyed during Hurricane Irma, leaving behind only a flagpole and a concrete slab. This part of the island also served as a dumping ground. Trash was buried under dirt, but over time, pieces surfaced again. Visitors later reported seeing everything from machinery to broken furniture left rotting under the sun. Above the dump is a second swimming pool. Unlike the grand pool complex near the main house, this one was smaller, attached to a 1,200 square foot building with a garage-style door. Other features add to the eerie design. A flight of stairs to nowhere climbs up the hillside, ending abruptly with a statue at its top. A large monkey statue sits nearby, silent and unsettling. At the highest point of the island, a tall telecom tower looms, with Wi-Fi repeaters fixed to buildings all around, ensuring constant surveillance and communication. Here, on this southern edge, beauty and mystery collide. The temple, the sundial, the sealed doors, and the landfill, all of it suggests an island designed not only for privacy, but for secrecy.
And that design is part of the, I believe, part of the rituals, part of the trauma-based, fear-based mind control they're putting people through there as well. And we reported yesterday, Zero Hedge was, I would credit whoever that was, but Illuminati bot posted that one with no credit. So I don't know who made that video. Anyhow, yesterday, Zero Hedge had uncovered the fact that Google Nest security cameras were still, had all of, the account was still active, right? As of yesterday, and the IT guy, Epstein's IT guy, works for the US federal government now. And they're like, hey, FBI, we know that the footage from all the surveillance Nest cameras are uploaded to your servers. Where you at, bro? And they're like, well, we busted lefties for protesting a church in Minnesota, or disrupting the church services there. Well, good job there, FBI, DOJ. What about this? Nothing. Nothing. I did see in the comments, yeah, I don't know about the blue roofs, honestly. Are blue roofs a thing? I've seen reportings about that. If you paint your roof blue, does that protect you from directed energy weapon attacks? I don't know. All the roofs there are blue, though, coincidentally enough. Here is, and there's a longer clip of this whole interview, but I think everybody knows actor Christopher Lee. He's been in many films, right? He played Dracula and appeared in numerous, the guy's been around in all kind of creepy films, exposing Satanism, or the theme in it is dark occultism and so on. And here's an interview with him talking about that, actor Christopher Lee. And there's a longer interview as well I've seen. This is a shorter clip.
Do you regard black magic as being purely fictitious, or is there some truth in it?
Some truth. 100% truth. There is nothing fictitious about black magic, in any way whatever. It is a fact. It is a fact which has existed for several thousand years. I mean, when we talk about black magic, we are talking about Satanism, necromancy, alchemy, witchcraft, the worship of Satan, the worship of dark forces, whether it's voodoo, juju, whether it's something practiced in the Western world or the Eastern world, whether it's easily defined or not easily defined, the order of the left-hand path, the following of this, the following of that. It is basically the worship of the force of evil as embodied by Satan, Lucifer, the princes of darkness and their legions and so on. In a very simple sense, of course, it goes much more deeply than that. It is a fact. It is a desperately dangerous fact. It does exist. It exists around us today. Satanic ceremonies will be happening in Britain tonight. Very definitely. Ask any priest, ask any member of the forces of law and order, and they will tell you that Satanism as such, it's there, and it has been for thousands of years.
I've certainly never been involved, and I warn all of you, never, never, never. you will not only lose your mind, you lose your soul.
And so they're trying to make, I don't know what, trying to make a big deal about this. I guess the DOJ scrubbed this photo of Epstein and Howard Lutnick, and they're trying to make a big deal about it. Lutnick openly said he took his family there for vacation. You know what I mean? I don't see how it's even disputed that they, but he said, "Oh, I saw nothing. I saw no wrongdoing," right? But they're trying to make a big deal, and I guess it is a big deal. The DOJ released this image and then tried to scrub it, but they're trying to say, "Oh, because of that, we need to bring in Howard Lutnick for a deposition." Well, how about the fact that what the hell? Why is our Commerce Secretary taking his family vacation on Epstein Island? And we showed that overview of Epstein Island. We don't even know Zorro Ranch, right? Because they wouldn't investigate it. We got Zorro Ranch. We do have a lot of information from the New York townhouse, I guess. But Zorro Ranch is still a mystery. As much of Epstein Island is still a mystery as well. We know more about it than the other places. Okay, so we're done with Epstein today. But let's wrap it up with chat. Are you guys there? Anybody? What's your request for? What's the research in Epstein files today? What key search word? Any suggestions from the chat there? City of London. Katie Couric, Jamie Dimon. That was a request yesterday, I think. Well, occult. You can see right there, occult is comes up 70 times. Let's do Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, right? Well, Jamie Dimon's only there. He's only in the Epstein files 278 times. He knew nothing. He knew nothing. Bloodlines of Illuminato. I don't think that's going to be in the. I have the book here. Actually, I've showed it. 13 Bloodlines of Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier. Anyhow, Katie Couric. Yeah, let's give that one a try. Katie. Is that how you spell her name? With a, I think you spelled it right there. Kouric. Let's see. Katie Couric. She only showed up 219 times. They knew nothing. And that's all the Epstein we have today. On to, well, they're rolling out technocracy fast and furious here now. More evidence of it. This from Zero Hedge. And so for the first time in history, the building of data centers has outpaced the building of general office space. You can see right here. Data center construction, the red line, and you can see it crossed and went beyond it there on our chart. And the building of a general office space declining there. So, yeah, technocracy full steam ahead. U.S. military used laser to take down border protection drone yesterday. This was reported. That's AP. More about that. FAA closed airspace in Fort Hancock, Texas. this is yesterday, reportedly after Pentagon accidentally uses a military laser-based anti-drone system to shoot down a U.S. government drone. That's according to a report out of Reuters. And then we take a look. FAA, we covered that. Here it is. Lawmakers criticize the Pentagon for lack of coordination following the incident. The FAA cited special security reasons for the airspace restrictions near the Mexican border. It's believed that the Pentagon high-energy laser system hit a customs and border protection drone, which often encounters Mexican drones linked to the drug cartels, the CIA. So whose drone are they shooting down? The Border Patrol or the CIA or the cartel? Anyhow, that's part of this section to show you where we're at here now. As they promise they will never, that the Department of War is promising they'll never use AI for mass surveillance of the public or autonomous weapons. But there's a BMW to put humanoid robots on the production line in Germany, according to the Financial Times. We're there, man. And then who was it? The founder of Twitter, what the hell's the name? Dorsey, right? Yesterday fired a bunch of people, like 6,000, 4,000 or 6,000? 6,000, I want to say, fired 6,000 people from his company Block. Said AI's taking their jobs, essentially. We're there, man. At the beginning of this. Rise of the robots pits Hyundai's Atlas against Musk's Optimus. Report out of Bloomberg. These are the two different humanoid robots looking to take our place. They don't need humans anymore. They don't need us anymore, they say. So there's the comparison. You could see that the price is a lot less for Tesla. I don't know about the performance, but primary use for the Hyundai Atlas, industrial sites, including Hyundai plants, for Tesla, factories, and daily life. Oh, man. We're getting neck deep in the technocracy here now. OpenAI seeks deal with Pentagon for its models made up from Anthropic's shortcomings. We are going to see if there is a deal with the Department of War that allows our models to be deployed in classified environments and that fits with our principles. Sam Altman said in an interview with the Wall Street Journal. And then here's the Department of War Undersecretary, Emil Michael. We've reported this guy quite a bit as the consolidation of the critical infrastructure of the Department of War. He's the first one that's rolled out the directed energy weapons technology publicly and bragging about it. Anyhow, they're having a very public fight with Anthropic right now. He says it's a shame that Dario, that's the CEO of Anthropic, is a liar and has a God complex. He wants nothing more than to try to personally control the U.S. military and is okay putting our nation's safety at risk. The Department of War will always adhere to the law and not bend to whims of any one for-profit tech company. And that's upon the news. Anthropic rejects Pentagon's final offer in AI safeguards fight. And then the fact check here, community notes on X, Anthropic's models have already been used extensively in mission-critical military applications, but the Department of War is now requiring that Anthropic allow its models to be used for autonomous weaponry and mass surveillance as well. Again, Anthropic is lying. He's on one. They're all pissed off about it. The Undersecretary of the Department of War, Anthropic is lying. The Department of War doesn't do mass surveillance, as that is already illegal. It was illegal spy for the Army, Department of War, or Department of Defense at the time, the Pentagon, to be spying on Vietnam protesters, and yet they waged a giant COINTELPRO campaign. So tell me more lies, government. Tell me more sweet little lies. Continuing. What we are talking about is allowing our war fighters to use AI without having to call Dario, again, that's the CEO of Anthropic, for permission to shoot down an enemy drone swarm that would kill Americans. Hashtag call Dario. And they fact-checked them again on this one. There are clauses in the Department of War's existing contract with Anthropic that prevent Claude from being used for autonomous weaponry and mass surveillance of Americans. The Department of War is demanding the removal of these restrictions. That's what's coming, and they're going to find somebody somewhere that is going to give them the technology for mass surveillance and autonomous weaponry, i.e. Terminator robots, i.e. weaponized depopulation. Undersecretary of the Department of War went on CBS News crying about this. I'm not even going to play it. Now Trump's crying about it. The United States of America will never allow radical left woke company to dictate how our great military fights and wins wars. Total bullshit. That decision belongs to your commander-in-chief and the tremendous leaders I appoint to run our military. The left-wing nut jobs at Anthropic have made a disastrous mistake trying to strong-arm the Department of War and force them to obey their terms of service instead of our Constitution. All this is total bullshit. Their selfishness is putting American lives at risk, our troops in danger, and our national security in jeopardy. Therefore, I'm directing every federal agency in the United States government to immediately cease all use of Anthropic's technology. We don't need it, we don't want it, and we will not do business with them again. There will be a 6-month phase-out period for agencies like the Department of War who are using Anthropic's products at various levels. Anthropic better get their act together and be helpful during this phase-out period, or I will use the full force of the presidency to make them comply, with major civil and criminal consequences to follow. We will decide the fate of our country, not some out-of-control radical left AI company run by people who have no idea what the real world is all about. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make mass surveillance and autonomous weaponized kill robots great again. Signed Trump there. Hegseth, Secretary of the Department of War, he said, I'm directing the Department of War to designate Anthropic a supply chain risk to national security, effective immediately. No contractor, supplier, or partner that does business with the United States military may conduct any commercial activity with Anthropic. Anthropic will continue to provide the Department of War its services for a period of no more than 6 months. We already explained that through Trump's message of the 6-month phase out period. A very public falling out here with the lying government, because Anthropic doesn't want to kick off freaking Skynet becoming self-aware and weaponized with autonomous weaponry and mass surveillance. But they'll find somebody who will sign off on this for sure. Follow up again. I've been looking at the State Department all day. No report, nothing about the Cuban incident. Was it American citizens? I saw reports it was 4, it was 3, it was 2, it was 1 U.S. citizen. It was people on U.S. visas. It was people on U.S. Permanent U.S. residency status. It was people on fiance visas. There is no, I haven't got any official, this is what happened. These are the people. They still haven't told us. I'm looking at the State Department. I want to know how many American citizens were killed by Cuba. Mum's the word. So it does look like now this was some type of rogue operation in the real world, not part of the control system. And that's why we're not getting it. And that happens, right? There are real shootings all the time. And you hear, and you see the report, blip on the radar, it goes away. See those school shootings all the time. Blacks, right? Blacks will go do a school shooting. There's a report, but it doesn't fit the narrative, and so the report goes away. If it fits the narrative and it's a staged event that they've engineered, then you'll never hear the end of it, right? So that makes me think that this Cuban boat shooting incident was an organic event, not in the control of the system per se. But still looking for the hard facts about what actually happened in this incident. And Cuba's under siege right now. They're hurting for food, energy, medicine. U.S. has them surrounded with the Navy right there. They're under siege, under blockade, under U.S. economic sanctions. And so America's hoping that the communist government in Cuba will fall due to all this siege pressure. We'll see. Trump said today the Cuban government is talking with us, and they're in a big deal of trouble, as you know. Yeah, we know. They have no money. They don't have anything right now. Yeah, because we're waging a war against them, just not hot shooting war quite yet. We're almost there. But we're trying to do the soft play. Is it soft if you're starving people to death? But it's soft. I guess it's more soft than just bang. You know what I mean? So we're doing the soft power play now to try to get the people to revolt against their own government, overthrow them, and do that type of regime change. If that doesn't work, they're going to send in the bang bang. So we shall see. The people of Cuba are in bad shape right now. The era of wokeness and the era of weakness and the era of wokeness are over, according to the Department of War Hegseth. I can't even play the clip because I'll throw up, but here he is on the Arsenal of Freedom tour, again, going around the country to the military industrial complex, selling how wonderful it all is and saying, we'll give you whatever you want. Just make more weapons of destruction for us. The Department of War has officially put Scouting America on notice. It's time to get back to basics and the Department of War is leading the charge. That's your Boy Scouts. So they're trying to say, well, they told the Boy Scouts, and I had an article. I should have had the art. They put out an article too from the Department of War, but they're not mad about the child molestation. That's a side issue. They're mad. They say publicly they're mad about the DEI policies at the Boy Scouts, now Scouting of America, and that's causing a big riff about why the Department of War would support any Boy Scout, Scouting of America programs because of their DEI policies, not about the sodomy of little boys. You see. Anyhow, that's going on, but they say they're going to stop their DEI policies, and so the Department of War will still use it as a recruiting arm for cannon fodder. All right, where are we at here? There was a Joe Biden sighting. Who knew? Who knew Joe Biden was still alive? But apparently there was a Joe Biden sighting on a plane. Here's video of it where a passenger casually walks by and tells him children in Gaza are dying every day. And he says, I know. Well, you and Blinken and your administration are architects of the genocide. So thanks a lot, Genocide Joe. But turns out whoever this is, the guy wearing a mask, an actor, a drone, a clone, a robot, who friggin' knows, but some entity resembling Joe Biden sighted here. So you couldn't hear it very well, but she said children in Gaza are dying every day. He said, I know. Well, thanks a lot, Joe. You're a big part of why that's happening. Zelensky today, we need to end to the Russia-Ukraine war. Putin's the most evil man in the world, YouTube. Okay? We need to end to that war. As Trump promised, still nothing. We need to end the proxy war against Russia. We're kind of trying to back out of it some kind of way, less funding. We haven't signed on to total war with them yet. We're like, they're having peace talks. We need it to end. Zelensky today in an interview with Sky News said the Kremlin is claiming, or Sky News is asking him this question. Sky News says the Kremlin is claiming that Ukraine is trying to get a nuclear weapon from the UK or France or America. Is that the case? Zelensky says, I don't have proposition, but with pleasure. Sky News. So we can put that to bed. That's not going to happen because the reports I'm seeing is Russia saying they're going to get one. They're going to get a dirty nuke bomb and set that off because they're this desperate. And so I don't know. Crazy claims. It could happen. And of course, you know, that would really piss off Russia if they set off a dirty nuke bomb in Russia, and that would cause a lot more escalation here. And so all that's floating around. Let's pray for peace there. It's we're not getting much peace out of it. They just keep on killing each other there. Clashes rage on Afghanistan-Pakistan border after Islamabad declares open war against the Taliban. Another war Trump can solve, which really is none of our business, honestly. But they're going to suck us into it. I guess it is our business because they built their countries all around our military bases. Russia urges Afghanistan, Pakistan to halt escalation and resume peace talks. Yeah. We'll see there. Okay, here's Trump urging then, I believe, President Obama to not start a war with Iran. The irony's pretty thick here now.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective.
So wouldn't the same be said about Trump? Now that he's president, he was talking about Obama there. Little Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, the State Department put out a notice saying he will travel to Aardvark land from March 2nd to the 3rd. So what is that? And who knows if they kick it off this weekend, is he still going to go there? Maybe. I don't know. I doubt it. Not if the missiles are flying. So that'll be Monday, Tuesday next week. And they plan to discuss, according to the State Department, a range of U.S. policy priorities, including Iran, Lebanon, and ongoing efforts to implement the president's 20-point peace plan in Gaza. So, Omni, dude, yesterday we reported on it, where Wall Street Journal said it's not looking good, right? And Omni, dude, is like the Oman guy that's in there in the negotiations between U.S. and Iran. He's like, it's looking all right. So, like, you know what I mean? We're getting these conflicting reports. I guess everyone has their own agenda in this, but he did an interview with ZBS News, and he's part of the negotiating team. Negotiators from the U.S. and Iran have allegedly made substantial progress. That's according to the M&E foreign minister, toward a renewed nuclear agreement, according to Omni foreign minister, who's been mediating the talks between the two sides. He went on to tell ZBS News, a peace deal is within our reach. Iran has agreed it will never, ever possess nuclear material capable of producing a bomb. Existing enriched uranium stockpiles would be blended down to the lowest level possible, converted into fuel in a way that would be irreversible. There would be zero accumulation, zero stockpiling, and full verification. Iran is prepared to grant the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, full access to nuclear sites. He is quite confident that even U.S. inspectors could eventually gain access under a fair and durable agreement. More time is needed to finalize technical details, with talks scheduled in Vienna on Monday. However, Trump today struck a more skeptical tone, saying he is not happy with the pace of negotiations and has not yet decided whether to authorize military strikes. He said Iran is not willing to give us what we have to have, adding, we'll see what happens. Well, we got more on it. Well, there's a clip of him. There is a very thick accent. I would just rather read it out to you like that, and then play the clip of the guy. He met up with J.D. Vance. Here's his post with Mr. Technocracy, J.D. Vance, the Omni mediator there. He said, I met with J.D. Vance today and shared details of the ongoing negotiations between the United States and Iran and the progress achieved so far. I'm grateful for their engagement and look forward to further and decisive progress in the days to come. This guy's like, I want technocracy now. And that is what Gaza is going to be. That's what the peace board is. Board of Peace is to administrate the technocratic smart city slave grid that is going to be the Trump Riviera, i.e. Gaza. Dozens of U.S. support aircraft spotted at Saudi Arabia's Prince Sultan Air Base amid Iran war preparations. Reported earlier today, Aardvarkland media report that an Iron Dome battery was seen near the Knesset as part of preparations for potential strikes on Iran. Like, all these military assets are all moving into place. Here's Fox News, the War Channel. I think our meme, our thumbnail for the show is actually better than their report. So let me pull that up, and this shows what all is what all makes it look like there's some, like, a strike, an attack is imminent with all this military right there. U.S. military deployment in the Middle East in anticipation of a possible military operation against Iran as of today. Look at all this. A third, probably more than a third now. Like, a third of our freaking Navy's just sitting there. See, if Iran didn't have its country around our Navy, we wouldn't even have any problems. All these big military bases right here. Bahrain, there's Bahrain. Somebody was asking, where's it on a map? It's small, but Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Kuwait, all big military, U.S. military bases. Oman, up here, right? Cyprus, got some in Turkey. So, yeah, right here in Jordan, in Egypt, Lebanon, Aardvarkland. But look at all this, man. This is costing a hell of a lot of money to be maintaining all this, having all, especially the Navy, all right there. All these ships. Look at all these, the Abraham Lincoln, and I see reports. Is it true? I don't know. Is it true? I've seen the reports. I guess it was, I think I misspoke on the aircraft carrier. I think I called it the Abraham Lincoln the other day. It was actually the Gerald R. Ford that allegedly troops are clogging up the toilets there and causing sewage backup problems, so they don't so they can pull that ship in for maintenance service. That's being reported out there. I don't know if it's true that there's actually a mutiny on the Gerald R. Ford over potential Iran operation, but that's being reported out there. Anyway, a whole hell of a lot. You could see big guns, just call them big guns, right? So it's looking like the attack is imminent. More than 500 strike aircraft and up to 200 support aircraft. I mean, that's a lot, right? From the U.S. military and Aardvarkland are deployed across the Middle East in preparation for a potential strike on Iran. And it just goes on to report all the different military weapons. CENTCOM briefs Trump on Iran strike options after Geneva talks. The commander of United States Central Command, CENTCOM, Bradley Cooper, has briefed President Trump on potential military actions against Iran following the end of the third rounds of indirect talks in Geneva. We covered that yesterday. Reported options range from limited strikes on ballistic missile launchers and nuclear sites to a large sustained campaign with possible coordination with Aardvarkland under consideration. They're going to have nukes. They're going to nuke New York City in 2 weeks. For the last 30 years, they've been telling us this. More preparations, bomb shelters open in Aardvarkland as U.S. Embassy evacuates staff in preparation for war with Iran. China has warned its citizens against traveling to Iran and urged those already there to leave immediately. So everybody's warning that it's looking like something's going to kick off here. They've been warning for a while, though, now, right? And it's been reported, and we've been reporting that the attack is imminent for like the last month. It's like the longest telegraphed slow play of an attack ever. I guess Trump, America, CENTCOM feels so confident that they're like, we'll just park all of our military right here. Well, you ain't going to do nothing. You know what I mean? So looks like trying to intimidate them, and they're still trying to do the ground operations, right? They're still trying to do this color revolution regime change operation there as well. And so the first round failed, but they're still trying that action as well, led by Western intelligence on the back of organic protest against the failed economy in Iran through US dollar weaponization. Francesca Albanese family sues Washington over unconstitutional sanctions. The family of UN Special Rapporteur for the occupied Palestinian territories, Francesca Albanese, filed a lawsuit yesterday in U.S. court challenging sanctions imposed over her UN-mandated findings on the Aardvark land genocide in Gaza. Yeah. When the State Department and the Treasury put sanctions on you as an individual, you can't operate in the Western system. It's like, oh, but the comptroller told us they're not going to target anybody for, well, she's not a U.S. citizen, so I guess we can target her. She's a damn Hamas UN rapporteur. Continuing here, little Marco, let's put it up. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, today I designated Iran as a state sponsor of wrongful detention. For decades, the Iranian regime has cruelly detained innocent Americans and citizens of other nations to use as political leverage. Iran must end this abhorrent practice and immediately free all unjustly detained Americans. Well, I agree with that sentiment, but we continue to report on the treatment of Palestinians in Aardvark land prison. Hey, and there are Americans in there. I get one of them got out so far, right? I believe there's still Palestinian Americans in the torture camps known as Aardvark prisons. Excuse me while I take a drink. Anyhow, we reported on that one teen that got out. I do believe there still are. So we need that same statement for those wrongfully detained by the Aardvarks and everybody else around the world. Marco Rubio, for all Americans everywhere. Trump told Congress Iran is building missiles that can hit America. U.S. intelligence agencies say that's not true. Current assessment, Iran could develop the capability by the year 2035 if they decided to pursue it. The continental United States is 6,000 miles from Iran. Their missiles top out at 1,850 miles max range. The president used the biggest speech of the year to say something his own intel community doesn't back up. That was at the State of the Union. Scaremongering about the war, about Iran is going to hit us with nuke-tipped intercontinental ballistic missiles, which they don't even have. The genocide in Gaza continues. Medical sources in Gaza reported that at least 7 Palestinians have been killed in Aardvark land, by Aardvark land in the Gaza Strip since this morning, or just say in the last 24 hours. This post came out. I think this was a funny one. Not really funny, but a good one. Kind of funny. It all ties together.
Did you know over 60 million Christians were killed by Islamic radicals from 1917 to 1946? Oh, wait, that was the Bolsheviks that did that.
I don't want to set.
And who were in large part the Bolsheviks, as we've discussed on this show. Here's Bob Dylan, and see, I've been pronouncing it wrong. It's the Chabad, because I don't speak the so I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. But I guess the C is silent. The Chabad. Here's Bob Dylan, aka Robert Zimmerman, fundraising for the Chabad, and that's the supremacist, end of the world, death cult, all around fun and crazy guys.
This is Bob Dylan. I'm in England right now working, so I can't be there tonight, but I'd like to say that I think Chabad is a worthy organization helping people in need. If you can help Chabad to help others who've fallen victims to the lies and deceits of those who are much more powerful, do so. Plenty of money to Chabad. It's my favorite organization in the whole world, really. They do nothing but good things with all the money, and the more you can give, the more it's going to help everybody.
Nobody told me it was Habab. I thought it was Chabab. Anyhow, now I know, according to Bob Dylan's pronunciation. Anyhow, FIFA, right? The soccer guys. FIFA and Trump-led Board of Peace announced that they are building 50-plus football pitches and FIFA Academy, as well as National Stadium in Gaza. They put out the video. I don't know if you guys want to see it. It's kind of, I think it's AI. Yeah, not even worth seeing anyway. They're trying to act like they have some type of humanity, like they're still human. I have serious doubts. So there are massive ultra-Zionist settler attacks all over the West Bank. We got them lighting cars on fire. We got them. I guess we'll show you this one. I can show you them. They're quick. They're not that long videos, and there's like no gore really. But here's a settler attack there in the occupied West Bank. So they torch cars, houses, kill the livestock, poison the land. I think we know the routine, why they get kicked out everywhere they go, because this is how they get down, and it's not very nice. Here's one of them. An armed settler attacks Palestinians in the Jordan Valley. And so there's running around all over the occupied West Bank, terrorizing the place. Here's more footage. Like, there's big attacks going on right now. That's why we have so much of this footage. Some more, but they're running around all over the West Bank, terrorizing it as they're preparing annexation for the Greater Aardvark Land Project. Habat to everybody. Is that even a thing? Whatever, man. It's just disgusting. It's really disgusting at this point. Let's pray for peace there. Let's pray for peace. It's not looking good with all that military there. It's not looking good. Let's see. Is there anybody on the, yep. Go to the channels now. Odysee. I see Gur. Oh no, it's Calepsy. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, we missed John tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in over there on the Odysee. Thank you guys for tuning in on X, Kick, Facebook, Twitch, and then of course Rumble. Thank you guys for chatting it up on the Rumble, keeping it lively. Let's see who was all there. I'll go back. Quite a chat on the Rumble. Thank you very much, Fat Bob. Yana, I don't know who that was on the Rumble. Bart, Bar, Arch. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Rumble. What did they say? What about the, yes, there is validity to the claim that the blue roofs cancel out red lasers. Yeah. I've seen a lot of those claims. Could be a thing. I don't know. Let's see. Fat Bob said, you know what purpose film actors serve for what power? City of London with all those 33s. Indeed, Bob. Mac over there. Well, I was going to give back to the YouTube, but anyway, shout out to Mac. Thank you. I'm getting your emails, Mac, and your about some of your testimony, and man, I pray for you, brother, and I feel bad that that you went through the abuse that you talk about. So I'm praying for you, brother. Denver over there in the Rumble chat, he says, this is exactly what I mean by AI is fake and gay. Jack Dorsey, after firing it was 4,000. I was like 6 or 4. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. So I guess he fired, I'm trusting Denver's right here. He usually is. So he had 10,000 total employed, right? And they fired 4, and then that's where I got the 6. 6 are left, I guess, until they're fired and replaced by AI as well. As long with all the other layoff because AIC. We are on opposite land, artificial intelligence, real stupidity. Well, they're automating a lot of office work. We got conned, right? Get rid of your manufacturing because of globalization. We're no longer a manufacturing industrial society. We're going to outsource that dirty work to the third world and help them develop, right? We're the humanitarian people. Like that is how they sold all this to America, right? And so now we're a service economy, they say. And so everybody needs to train up in being a service economy because that's the only jobs left, because all the manufacturing jobs, or large majority, got shipped overseas because we care so much about those people and want to develop the third world. Turns out nothing could be further from the truth. And now all these service jobs are being replaced by automation, right? It's not even AI. That's like the wrong use of it. It's like automation and robotics. So, yeah, and I believe that was the plan the entire time. And now the universal basic income and the weaponization of humanoid robots for our orderly termination is in the cards. It's definitely in the cards. Is that what the route they're going to go? Who knows? They got all the cards, right? So that's definitely one of their cards. I would have to say at this point, I mean, we can't even do business with Anthropic because they have some type of, I don't know what is causing them to not sign off on mass surveillance and autonomous weapons, unlimited use by the Department of War. I don't know why they are all of a sudden having a crisis of conscience, but apparently they are. I don't know. Maybe this is all a public show just to do some other scam. That may very well be true as well. So we'll see, but at least publicly they're acting like they're not for Terminator and Skynet. So that's a good thing. Let's see. Any other comments here? Pamela tuned in. Thanks for tuning in there, Pamela. I saw you. Say hi to somebody. Yeah, and that's it. Let's see. Fat Bob says, I'm going to leave with this. Revising 1933's Dracula. It is the financial system revealed. Really? Is that real? 1933's Dracula? I'm going to have to look at that. Is that true, Bob? All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, chatting it up, keeping it lively, keeping it cordial and entertaining. And with that, let's pray for peace. And as always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Friday evening and weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday for more weaponized news, if they didn't blow the world up by then.